What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Surfside PPC YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be going over 12 Google Display Ads best practices and strategies that you can incorporate in your own campaigns. So I'm not going to be going through each individual strategy into too much detail because I have videos on my channel already that will help you with each individual strategy. So I am going to actually refer you to some of my different videos throughout this video tutorial to show you how to set up things like conversion tracking, to show you what smart bidding strategies are, so you understand how to set up your data segments. So in this, I really just want to go over best practices. Use this as a checklist to make sure you're using all these things in your campaign if you are able to. So let's get started with number one, conversion tracking and a smart bidding strategy, and incorporate value if you're able to as well. So if we come over here to my Farmhouse Goals account and we go to Tools and Settings, under Measurement, what you want to do is click on Conversions. In this conversion screen, this is where all of your key performance indicators should be. So if you have purchases on your website, you can have people actually accounted for if they do complete a purchase and it's based on your Google Ads account. So you can see here, I have my conversion action here, we have our conversion and then our conversion value. So this is only counting every single conversion as one. So my value is the same exact amount as my conversions. But one of the things that you can do if we scroll down here, so these aren't actual conversions for my business. I set these up as an example several years ago, but you can see here I have different conversion actions. So this one here has over 5,300 conversions, but the conversion value is over 26,000. So you can use conversion value to actually optimize for your revenue or the total value driven to your business. So what that allows us to do, if we come back over here and we open up a display campaign that we ran in the past, so I'm going to be referencing this old display campaign throughout this video sometimes. But one of the things we can do is if we go to settings for this campaign, since we set up our campaign with the marketing objective of sales, so you generally want to use sales or leads because then you can actually optimize for your conversions. We have our goal here. So our goal that we're optimizing for is purchases. So the one that I showed you earlier, my affiliate click on my website. So that's what we're optimizing for on our website. And what we can actually do is set our bidding strategy. So you can see here, this is target CPA, target cost per action. Google Ads automatically sets our bids to get as many conversions as possible at the target cost per action. So I'm telling Google with this, I want you to try to drive conversions for my business at $2.70 or less. Now, if I click on change bid strategy, you can see what do you want to focus on. So you want to focus on conversions or you want to focus on conversion value. So with conversion value, you can set a target return on ad spend and say, okay, for every $1 I spend, for example, I want my target return on ad spend to give me a 300% return. So that means for every $1 I spend, I'm getting $3 back. So some different ways that you can set your bidding strategy, but ultimately if we come back over here to our best practices, make sure you're using conversion tracking, incorporate value if you have a business where you can actually give a unique value to your different purchases, whether it's you're selling a course, maybe you're selling a software. You might be selling a software with 3 different packages. So you can know, okay, this person came to my website, they signed up for the $99 package. So that's one conversion with a conversion value of $99. So number one, use conversion tracking, use a smart bidding strategy. So number two, target your data segments. That's going to be the number one way to get good results with Google Display Ads. Target your remarketing audiences to improve your return on ad spend or ultimately just to continue to lower your target cost per action. So if we come back over here, one of the things you want to do, and for this, I'm actually going to go into my Beachfront Decor account. So we're going to go to Tools and Settings here. And one of the things we can do is come to Shared Library and come to Audience Manager. Now, I have videos on my channel and I will put both of them in the video description about conversion tracking, about smart bidding strategies, about how to create your data or remarketing segments and use them for your Google Display Ads campaigns, all these different segments and what they mean, what demographics targeting means, and then as we get to my other strategies, I will show you them as well. So if you go into the video description for this video, there are tutorials for how to do all of this stuff. So let's come back over here, targeting your data segments. So one of the things that you can do is if we come to our Audience Manager, you can come to your data sources. And if you link your YouTube channel, if you set up the Google Ads tag, and if you link your Google Analytics 4 account, you can use all of that data to create new segments. And you can actually target people who have visited your website or people who have watched videos on your YouTube channel. So if we come over here to segments, we click on the plus sign, you can target website visitors, app users, YouTube users, or customer lists. And you can also create custom combinations. So one of the things I can do is say, okay, anybody who's been to Beachfront Decor over the last 30 days, I want to target them with my advertisements. So number 2, target your data segments. Make sure you're creating a lot of different data segments because that's going to give you similar segments as well. So we're going to come back over here again to our Beachfront Decor and we're going to scroll down. So one of the things I just created was an audience with Christmas pages and an audience with Christmas page titles. So I went over how to do that in my Google Display Ads remarketing tutorial. And what I can do now is I can start targeting people with a Christmas message because I know they've been to my website specifically looking for beach Christmas products. So it's a very niche audience, but then I'm able to target them with my advertisements. And once these audiences or these segments become large enough to actually serve on either the Google Display Network, the Search Network, YouTube, what we're going to get are these different similar segments. So coming into number 3, the 3 other segments I would target along with your data segments. Now you may want to create separate campaigns. That just depends on your overall strategy. But one of the things you want to do is avoid really broad targeting like affinity segments and use similar segments, use custom segments, and use in-market segments. So in-market, those are pre-built segments in Google Ads for people who are actually in the market to purchase something. Similar segments will be created automatically based on your data segments. So if we come back over here and I have my Christmas data segments here, maybe I combine these 2 audiences into one. What's going to eventually happen when these do become eligible is I'm going to get similar segments that I can target. So what Google Ads is actually doing for me is they're building an audience of people that are going to be very similar to the people who have visited my website looking for beach Christmas products. So when you're targeting these different segments in your campaigns, you're going to see much better results than if you're using very broad demographics targeting or life events or affinity segments. Focus on these 3 different segments, because if we come over here and we're looking at a farmhouse goals display campaign that I'm running, you can see I am targeting 4 different segments. I have an in-market segment for home furnishings. So these are people that are in the market in purchasing home furniture. I have people who are similar to all users that have been to my website over the last 540 days. I have anybody who's been to my website over the last 540 days, and I have a custom segment built here. So when you're targeting different audience segments, you're going to see all of these different options here. Detailed demographics, affinity, in-market and life events, your data and similar segments, combined segments, and custom segments. I always say start with in-market and work your way down. So you can work with these 4 different categories here. Detailed demographics, affinity segments, they may be better if you are actually combining multiple audience segments. What I would recommend doing is using some of these different options because they're going to give you the best results as far as actually driving conversions. Now, the other thing that you can do, number 4, is incorporate demographics targeting. And number 5, you can enable optimized targeting. So again, we're going to come back over here to my Google Ads account. We're in Farmhouse Goals here still, and we're looking at an old display campaign that I ran. Now, I went into edit audience segments to show you those audience segments before. You just select your ad group, and then you want to target these different audience segments here. Now, with demographics, what you may see is you're getting a bunch of clicks from one specific demographic in terms of age, gender, household income, parental status. So you can incorporate demographics targeting as well. So if we click on edit demographics, we choose our ad group. What I can say is I want to make sure I'm targeting females. I want to make sure they're at least 35 and up. Parental status will say doesn't matter. And let's just say household income. I want people to be in the top 40%. So what it's going to do is it's going to incorporate these demographics. So if we click on save demographics, then people need to be in the targeted demographics I just set. And they're also going to need to be in one of the audience segments that I'm targeting as well. So when you incorporate demographics targeting, it allows you to reach your actual target market much better by reaching your ideal customer. Now, the other thing that you want to use is optimized targeting, which is going to use the different data segments, the different similar segments, custom segments, in-market segments, all the different audiences that you're targeting, along with your landing page, along with your advertisements to try to drive you more conversions at the same price. So let's come back over here again to our Farmhouse Goals campaign, and you can easily set up optimized targeting as you are going through the campaign creation process. But if you're not sure if your display campaign's already running it, so what we can do is we can click on our ad group here, and then we're going to go into settings for our individual ad group. So we're looking at our ad group settings. So you can't do this at the campaign level. You want to do this at the ad group level. And what you're going to see is edit ad group targeting here. So we're going to click on edit ad group targeting, and you can see this is where we can incorporate different audience segments. We can incorporate different demographics targeting, but right here, optimize targeting. So with optimize targeting on, you're going to see helps you get more conversions within your budget. Google may find people beyond your targeting signals. Information such as your landing page and assets and your targeting signals are going to be used to find people who are going to be more likely to convert. So with optimized targeting, you're essentially telling Google Ads, okay, here's who I want to target, but if you think there's other people that are going to be likely to convert that match some of the different targeting with my audience segments, fit with my demographics targeting, based on my landing page, based on my ads, then I want you to go out and I want you to find them. So you click on save and you have optimized targeting turn on. You can also turn it on. It's turned on automatically for new display campaigns, and then you can easily turn it on or off as you're creating your campaign. I always run optimized targeting now, so I would recommend using it and seeing if it works for you. Now, next one is going to be number 6. I'm going to go through this very quickly, but dynamic remarketing, best for advertisers running an e-commerce website who have a product feed. With dynamic remarketing, you've probably seen these ads already. A lot of the major advertisers run them. You can actually target people who have visited specific pages on your website. So somebody who's looking at specific products on your website, you don't need to do anything but upload your product feed, and Google Ads is going to be able to use your information to actually target people with your advertisements based on the products they've looked at. So if we come back over here again, we're going to come back to our campaign and we're going to go to our settings at the campaign level. Now, if you come to the settings for your campaign, what you can do here is click on additional settings. And as you scroll down here, you're going to see dynamic ads. So right now it's saying use dynamic ads feed for personalized ads. You'll need to create a feed of your products or services. So if you don't have a feed already, then you're not going to be able to do this. But just keep in mind, you can run dynamic ads. This is going to give you great results because you're actually reaching people who have been to your website, who have looked at specific things on your website, and you're saying, hey, come back and purchase these. So if you're able to use dynamic ads, especially with some type of incentive to come back and purchase, they are a great tool for display campaigns. So that's 1 through 6. Conversion tracking, smart bidding, incorporate value, target your data segments, target similar segments, custom segments, in-market segments. Don't be afraid to combine some different segments if you want to. Incorporate demographics targeting to reach your target audience. Use optimized targeting through Google Ads, and use dynamic remarketing if it works for your business. Next is going to be 7 through 12. These ones will be a little bit quicker. So A/B test your responsive display ads. So when we go through and we're creating a campaign, one of the things you want to do is make sure you're running at least 2 responsive display ads in every single ad group. So you can see if we scroll down here, I only have 1 ad running. So what I would want to do is just click to create a new responsive display ad. Now, the other thing that you can do is upload display ads as well. You may want to stick with some of the main sizes. What I have found is if I'm running responsive display ads, my uploaded display ads really don't get too many clicks or impressions anymore. So I would recommend choosing one or the other. I've seen better performance from responsive display ads. They're easier to manage, they're easier to test, and it's easier to create a lot of different variations. So if we're looking at A/B testing our responsive display ads with headlines, images, and videos, one of the things that you can do is as you are creating different responsive display ads, just go in, keep your description lines exactly the same. You may see things like this. To improve performance, try editing this description. So we come back up. To improve performance, try editing this headline. So you can take those into account and you can actually make sure that you're using different headlines here. But one of the things you may want to do is you have your advertisement already created. So we'll just come down here. We'll click on cancel. We're going to leave this page. And what we can do is we can take our existing ad here, click on edit, copy the advertisement, and then paste the advertisement, which is going to give us a second responsive display ad here. Make sure we choose the right campaign and ad group. We'll click on done and we'll click on paste. Okay, so I have my new ad pasted in here, so we can click on dismiss. You see this is the existing advertisement I've been running. You can see the performance here. So one of the things that we can do is with our new advertisement, just click to edit it. You don't want to change a ton of things, otherwise it's not a true A/B test. So what you want to do is just come in here, and one of the things I like to do is just keep all of the ad copy exactly the same. So we're not going to change anything with the ad copy, and one thing we can do is upload some different videos here. So try different video formats, try different lengths with the video formats. The other thing we can do is add different images as well. So making sure that we're updating some of the different images that we're running, some of the different videos that we're running. So what you could do is first go through your initial advertisement, your initial responsive display ad, look to see if there's any underperforming headlines, look to see if there's any underperforming description lines like we showed earlier, change those, update your ad, and then what you want to do is duplicate it, upload some different videos, upload some different images here. You don't have to change much else, and that's going to allow you to actually test different things against each other, whether it's headlines, images, videos. You could just create two completely different responsive display ads that are going to the same offer and see if one performs much better than the other. And then you can always A/B test things over time. So the other thing that you can do very easily is A/B test your landing pages. So same exact concept that we just did. So one of the things that I like to do is if we have our two advertisements here, so we're just going to click on cancel. We'll pretend like we changed a few things in this advertisement, even though we didn't. And then what you can do is you have your two different advertisements running to one landing page. We can take both of these advertisements, do the same thing, copy and paste. And that's going to give us two new advertisements. And all you need to do is go into the different advertisements, click on edit, and the only thing that you need to adjust through your edit is the final URL. So that's the easiest way to A/B test your landing pages. And as long as your settings are to actually just optimize your ads, then Google Ads will continue to serve your best performing responsive display ads. So when you're looking at your campaigns and we go into settings here and we click on our additional settings, ad rotation, optimize to perform the best performing ads. Now, one thing you could do is do not optimize, just to allow them to rotate indefinitely for maybe a week, but you have to make sure you remember to go back and optimize them. However, if you are incorporating new ads, usually Google Ads will start to rotate some of your different advertisements in and see if any of them are performing better as well. So coming back over here, A/B test your responsive display ads, create multiple responsive display ads, and then A/B test your landing pages. So just see if you're able to get a lift with some new headlines, with some different landing pages, see if any of those help your actual cost per conversion and help your return on ad spend. So 7 and 8, A/B testing. Number 9, kind of a simple one. Improve your offer, highlight your unique selling proposition. So if you're running your advertisements and you're just not seeing conversions, you need to go back and see what your offer actually is. If all you're doing is saying, here's my business, click on my ad and come see my business, it's not really going to help you actually drive conversions. So what you're trying to do is reach your customers' actual pain points. If I have travel deals on my website, for example, if I just put shop our travel deals, it's not going to work as well as something like using an offer, for example, of saying escape your 9 to 5 for a week, book 7 days, get 2 of them free with our travel deals. So you're able to actually reach some of these different pain points that people are having while also highlighting what your unique selling proposition is. So in this case, you have travel deals. You're giving people the best possible price on whatever this vacation may be. You're trying to improve your offer by saying, not just book our travel deals, but instead say, escape your 9 to 5, book 7 days, get 2 of them free. So one of the first things that I ever look at if a new client or somebody is telling me that they can't drive conversions is what their actual offer is. Is there some type of discount? Is there some type of actual unique selling proposition that they're not going to get from anybody else? I could have a credit card advertisement running all day, but if there's no real offer for signing up for my credit card, maybe it's get $300 cash back. Maybe it's spend this much in the first couple months and get no interest for the next 6 months or whatever it may be. So improve your offer, highlight what you're actually selling, and make sure you understand that if your selling point isn't good enough, you need to make it better, or your Google display ads aren't going to work and you're not going to drive as many conversions in general. So just improving your offer, highlighting what you're selling, highlighting why people need it, and what type of pain problem you're fixing, that all needs to be there in your Google display ads. So coming down to number 10, narrow targeting to relevant content using topics or keywords. So if we come back over to my campaign here again, one of the things you can do is incorporate top content as well. So in this case, I haven't added any topics, I haven't added any keywords, I haven't added any placements. You could add placements as well, but if you start adding placements, just keep in mind, if you start adding placements here, it's going to limit your audience segment targeting, your demographics targeting, just to the placements where you select. So you may need to come in here and add hundreds of websites, hundreds of YouTube channels, different mobile apps if you want to target them with your placements as well. So I would recommend using display or video keywords, or using topics. I like using topics a lot because I can come in here and quickly say add topics, select my ad group. So we have ad group 1 here. You can set your topics to targeting, or you can set them to observation. In this case, we're going to choose targeting. Since mine is all related to home and garden, what I can do is just come down here, say, okay, we want to target pages related to home and garden. Maybe I could find some other options here that are going to be somewhat relevant to what I'm promoting, but let's just say I just want to target home and garden topics. Then what that's going to do is it's going to limit my actual content targeting to this home and garden topic. So that's going to include any websites, YouTube channels, apps that are related to home and garden. So you would think theoretically, if I'm targeting some of these different audience segments that are interested in purchasing farmhouse furniture on my website, that's what my actual display ads campaign was for. So if I'm going through and I'm actually trying to target people to purchase furniture, then it would make the most sense to try to target them when they're researching pages about these different topics, because then they're going to be more actively in the market for those types of products than they would be if, let's just say, they're listening to their favorite comedy podcast. So different ways to target people and narrow your targeting to specific content like topics, placements, display or video keywords. I think placements limits it a little bit too much. So what I would recommend is relevant content using topics or display keywords. Now, number 11, remove non-converting audience segments and placements. So you're going to start getting data for your campaign, and I didn't run this campaign long enough to really see anything that's that out of place or anything like that. But if you come over here to audiences, so we're targeting different segments for this campaign, and we click on show table. So we're looking at our all-time data. One of the things you may see is that certain audience segments are getting way more clicks and impressions. Certain audience segments aren't getting any clicks and impressions at all, and certain ones have a higher or lower conversion rate. So one of the things we're seeing here is I have my in-market home furnishings audience segment. I have this custom segment I built with furniture search terms. So basically a custom segment with all sorts of farmhouse furniture search terms. So one of the things that we can see if we come back over here to our audience segments is we had actually 0 clicks from our similar segment and our all user segment. So what you may want to do, put them in their own ad group and then pause your other ad groups with different targeting types. Or what you can do is run a completely separate remarketing campaign, and you can incorporate your similar segments in your remarketing campaign as well. So let's look at some of this data here. We have our in-market at the top and our custom segment at the bottom. So for this, we have 127 clicks, 16 conversions, 815 clicks, 23 conversions. Now you're going to see my conversion rate was much lower over here for this in-market audience segment, but my average cost per click was also much lower for this in-market audience segment, whereas the custom segment, my cost per click was much higher, my conversion rate was higher. Now looking at the data for both, they actually converted at the same exact cost per conversion. So kind of unique there. And you're seeing for the in-market segment, 815 clicks, a cost of $62. So obviously a much less average CPC. And for our custom segment, it's 127 clicks, $43, but the conversion cost per conversion ended up being exactly the same. So for these, you're not really seeing much out of either audience segment, that one is much better than the other. So if you are targeting multiple segments like this, then what you may want to do is actually just pause or remove a segment altogether, just while you're testing and looking at other audience segments. What I could also do is combine this in-market segment with this custom segment. Since they're performing very similarly, I can look at these audiences the same and say, okay, if I'm promoting furniture, then I have my farmhouse goals furniture audience, and it's a combined segment with this in-market and custom segment. Now, the other thing that you can do is you can come over here to your content, and if we come over here to placements, and we're looking at our placements report all time, you're going to see you don't have any placements, but what you can do is see where our ads appeared. You could also see where ads showed here as well. So if we click on where your ads appeared, you can see a lot of my ads are going into mobile apps. So there are ways to exclude mobile apps from your campaign. I will show you how to do that in a minute. So if you don't want your ads going through a mobile app, now I was driving conversions through mobile apps. So in this case, it wasn't really the end of the world. So as we scroll down here, you're going to see there's other websites here as well. So some of these websites are not the greatest websites, and you see them all the time in your placement reports. But as you start getting more clicks and impressions from different placements, you can actually come in here and I can exclude some of these different mobile apps. So you select your mobile apps, edit, exclude from campaign, or exclude from your ad group. So that's one option that you do have as far as exclusions for some of these different placements. Now, what you can also do with your content and exclusions, if you don't want your ads to show on mobile apps, what you can do is select here placement exclusions, and then you're going to click to exclude placements. You can add placement exclusion from your campaign, and you come to app categories, and it takes a little while, but you have to exclude every single app category. So that means your ads are not going to show up on any app category, which effectively removes mobile apps from your targeting. So you just keep selecting all of these different mobile app categories, click on save, and once you have them all selected, then your ads will no longer show on mobile apps. So coming over here, remove non-converting audience segments and placements. You can remove mobile apps altogether as well using the method that I just showed you. So some different options here going 1 through 11. Last but not least, number 12, optimize ad rotation, set frequency management. These aren't necessary that you need to do them, but if you are testing your ads a lot, then what you do want to do is come over here to settings, and you want to just rotate your ads indefinitely for several days, maybe a week or two, depending on how long you're running your campaign for, and do not optimize for a little bit while you start to get more and more data. And then as you have more data, then click on optimize. Google Ads will continue to prefer the best performing ads. So some different options as far as which advertisements are showing up. And then frequency management, let Google Ads optimize how often your ads show. Now, I'm sure you've been browsing the internet before and you feel like you're seeing the same ads over and over again. So to avoid doing that to other people, set a preference on frequency management, manage impressions for the whole campaign to something like, let's say, 5 per day. We click on save, and then people aren't going to see your ads over and over and over again. So this is also called frequency capping. Now they have frequency management, same exact thing. Just make sure you're not showing your ads over and over to the same exact people. So we come back over here. These are some different strategies and best practices. Some of it might seem pretty simple. Some of it might seem a little complex, but going through them one more time. Conversion tracking, smart bidding that's optimizing for conversions, incorporate value if you have it. Your data segments, similar segments are going to be based on your data segments. Create your own custom segments for people who are actually looking up specific search terms in Google, and use some of the built-in in-market segments. Incorporate your demographics targeting, use optimized targeting, and if you have a product feed or a service feed, you can use dynamic remarketing as well. A/B test your responsive display ads. There's no downside to running multiple responsive display ads with different headlines, different images, different videos, maybe A/B testing some of them with just different images, A/B testing some of them with just different headlines, or ad copy altogether. And then you can also duplicate your best performing responsive display ads and A/B test your landing pages. Create a new landing page and see if it converts better than your existing landing page. Improve your offer, highlight your unique selling proposition. Always go over that. Make sure that your offer is an offer that you would take up if you saw it on a display ad as you were browsing the internet. Narrow your targeting to relevant content and remove non-converting content, placements, or audience segments. Last but not least, make sure you're optimizing your ad rotation. You can just set your ad rotation indefinitely just to rotate until you start getting more data, and then go right back to optimize to serve your best performing ads, and set frequency management so you're reaching different people and your ads aren't following around the same people every single day. So some Google display ads, best practices and strategies. Hopefully this is helpful as you're creating your display ads campaigns. Thanks for watching my video today, and make sure you subscribe to the Surfside PPC YouTube channel.